I'm excited to come back to you today with Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. We've gone over that and what that means. And the entire psalm is based on this truth: the Lord. The Lord. Got to know who He is. We've talked a lot about that. You need to meditate on that constantly, and you need to fight everything in your head that paints a different picture of God than what the Bible says. Fight that. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord, I am, Yahweh, is shepherding me. He is my shepherd. He is my shepherd, and He is working in my life. And by shepherd, He's the owner. And by shepherd, He's in charge. So by shepherd, we have a very strong relationship. And since He is my shepherd, we get to the next part of the psalm, which is, I shall not want. I shall not want. What a tremendous thing. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. There's something beautiful in the Hebrew word for want or lack. It's not in the future tense in the Hebrew. In fact, in Hebrew, they don't have a future tense. It's in what's called the perfect aspect, which emphasizes not future, but completed action or certainty. He is stating that he does not want, he will not want, and he cannot say that with absolute confidence. He hasn't wanted, doesn't want, and will never want. That's pretty beautiful. I shall not want. I will not want. It is not. It is done. That it is done, fixed, finished. That he will not want, because his shepherd is taking care of him. It'd be impossible for him to be lacking what he needed, because the Lord is his shepherd. And David is speaking from experience and sees God's provision as unbreakable reality. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. It's unthinkable to believe that God, his shepherd, will not be dependable. Now, I need to stop here and just remind you of fantastic truths that are going on here. David is in the middle of chaos. His life is falling apart. He has literally no human hope. The majority of his kingdom's turned against him. His best friend has betrayed him. His son is leading an army against him. His son has publicly humiliated him by putting his 10 wives up on the rooftop of the house and had relations with them. And David's in trouble. Where do you turn? I know you're maybe facing trouble. You may be dealing with junk in your life, and maybe it's marriage problems, or maybe it is financial problems, or emotional problems, or problems raising your children. And you begin to feel like you're abandoned and you're alone, but that's simply not true, because the Lord is your shepherd. If you're a believer, he is your shepherd. And you shall not want. And what David does is take the focus off of himself, the focus off of his circumstances, the focus off of his problems, the focus off of his pressures, and put them on the promises of his Lord, the promises of his shepherd. He doesn't see circumstances, he sees Christ. He doesn't see obstacles, he sees opportunities. And I know we say that kind of stuff all the time, but that is so very true in this particular passage. So what you want to recognize right now first as we begin is that the shepherd is all you need. He's the source of all you need. He is all you need. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. Everything I have comes from the Lord. I need to understand that. The Bible says in 1 Chronicles 29:14, I love this. When King David, the same David that is writing Psalm 23, probably prior to this, writes and says, who am I and what are my people that we should offer so willingly? For all things come of thee, and of thine own have we given thee. David recognized that even the offerings he offered to the Lord came from the Lord that he gave back to the Lord, because the Lord is the source of everything. You're not the source. You're not the answer. You're not the solution. The Lord is. The Lord is my shepherd. What are you dealing with? What do you face today? Cast all your burden on him because he is the source of everything. He's the creator, our creator. He's the owner. He owns everything. He owns all people. He owns everything. In 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 6, it says, of whom are all things. Of whom are all things. Everything comes from God. Somewhere along the way, I made the mistake that I'm afraid that you have made, and I became the center of my own universe. I began to think I was doing stuff and I was somebody, but it's never us. It's never us. Of whom are all things, and by whom are all things, and we by him. 1 Corinthians 8:6. By whom? Jesus Christ. By whom are all things, and we by him. I didn't make God. God made me. I don't own God. God owns me. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. That'll give us great comfort, but it'll also give us great promises. It'll also help us to turn away from the anxiety that's keeping you awake at night, the pressures that are bothering you, the bitterness that you're holding on to. You can get rid of all of that. James 1:17, James said, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. Do you realize the Lord is the source of everything? The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. So what am I to do in the equation? What's my part in the story? Trust and believe. Have confidence in your shepherd. You wouldn't have to talk to any sheep like this. A sheep is not over there logically reasoning out, figuring out how much food they got left, how many bills they got left, and figuring out who they got to please and how they got to please. They just got their eyes on the shepherd. I want you to understand that what he's saying, I shall not want, is a permanent denial that he could ever lack. That's super personal to me. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. We're not talking about theoretically what God does for people. We're not talking about what you read or hear about. We're not talking about great heroes of the past. You are his sheep. He is your shepherd, and you shall not want. We're not talking about a general case. We're talking about you personally. What are you dealing with? What are you fighting with? What issues are you confronting? Lack means to be diminished, to be in need. It means to be reduced or deprived. It means to have insufficient funds. But God is my shepherd. The Lord, Yahweh, I am. The relational God is my shepherd. I think about how the Lord, the shepherd, provided in the wilderness. When the children of Israel are not doing what he wanted to do and they're wandering around in the wilderness, he provided everything they needed. He gave them everything they needed to be able to make it and everything they needed to be able to enjoy what he had for them. The Lord is my shepherd. He gave them shoes that didn't wear out. He gave them food that fell from heaven. He gave them clothes that grew with them. He gave them water from a rock. They lacked nothing. You read about that and you think, well, that was a pretty neat thing, God taking care of them, but God's doing all of that for you. And you need to acknowledge that. God provided for Elijah by having ravens come and feed him at the brook. A widow from Zarephath cared for Elijah and his family, and God made miraculous provisions, and he's doing that for you. David writes in the Psalms 37, I have been young and now old. I have not seen his seed begging bread. I have not seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. So I just want to challenge you today to know the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. What is it you're dealing with? How are you hurting? You listen to me. Take your cares and lay them on the Lord and decide in the middle of the chaos, in the middle of the attacks, in the middle of all the anxiety that's coming your way, you will not focus on the problem. You'll focus on Jesus. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd.